There are only 68 days left in this year, and there are 10 books that I must read, no exceptions, by the end of it. These are books that I've talked about constantly all year, and yet I still haven't read them yet. So I thought the only way that I can get them off my TBR is if I challenge myself. If I don't finish these 10 books by the end of 2025, I owe one of you $50.
Give me your f***ing money!
All you have to do is be a subscriber and comment down below in this video, and on January 1st, I will pick a comment at random and send you the money. But that's only if I don't make it. And I'm competitive, so good luck getting my money. But to make things a little more interesting, let's just say I have to read the books in the order in which I pull them from this random TBR jar. So if I don't feel like reading them in the order in which I pull them from, or if I don't read all 10 books, you get $50 of my money. Now I think that's pretty fair. You're still gonna lose, but still, I think that's pretty fair. Now let's talk about the 10 books that I actually want to read. The first one is an epic fantasy where there is a Roman-inspired world and the society is divided into a will system. So basically the lower class have to give their will to the elite, and our protagonist is someone who was adopted into this elite society and is actually a spy at their magical academy, trying to help in this rebellion. That book is The Will of the Many. It sounds like high stakes fantasy, there's politics, there's intrigue, there's rebellion. It sounds like all the things I love. The only reason why I'm a little scared is because she's thick, and again, I only have 68 days, so I'm gonna have to read through this very quickly, but I'm no punk. Never back down, never would. Then we have a 1967 Russian classic that blends satire, theology, and surrealism. Now, I am so guilty about talking about this book all year. There have been a few months where I've actually added it to my monthly TBR, and I still have not read it. If you are not familiar yet, it is The Master and Margarita. First of all, this is the prettiest book that I own. It is absolutely gorgeous. Secondly, it is a classic, and I've been wanting to read more classics this year and expand my knowledge on thought-provoking works like this. In Soviet-era Moscow, the devil visits with a talking cat and causes absolute anarchy. It's supposed to be dark, witty, and deeply philosophical. I've been yapping about this book for so long. It's going to be my first Russian classic, and I just like weird books, and this sounds very much up my alley. Then we have a contemporary fiction about family drama. It's about these three sisters who could not be further apart, not only emotionally, but physically, but they come together when their fourth sister dies. It's about their growth, them going through grief, and them learning how to love each other again. It is The Blue Sisters. I've heard nothing but great things about this book. Even people who don't like literary fiction have been telling me how good this book is, and I love literary fiction, so I really just need to read this. Plus, the cover is so cool. Don't look at my nails. The cover is really cool. Now, it wouldn't be me if I didn't add a little bit of sci-fi, so the next one is actually The Sea of Tranquility. This book has been on my shelf for years now, like years plural. It is actually so insane. It is speculative fiction. It is a book that traverses time, not only in the past, but also centuries ahead of time. It's about human connection, memory, and the effects of time, so I feel like it sounds like a good balance between sci-fi, but the heart and emotion of literary fiction, and that is just right up my alley. The next is also a sci-fi, but in a completely different font. This is a sci-fi comedic classic, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is about a main character who is trying to leave Earth before it's destroyed. Earth is getting destroyed to make this hyperspace bypass, and he gets saved by one of his friends. And him and his friend that saved him kind of traverse space, meeting odd characters along the way. It sounds like it's going to be super fun and very heartfelt, and I've been wanting to read this classic since I saw it at Barnes like a few months ago, so this is definitely on the list. And she's kind of short, so I feel like it won't be too hard. Now, the next one isn't sci-fi, but it does have to do with space. It is a nonfiction book called A City on Mars. I have been yapping about this book non-stop since I bought it, and it's a deep dive on whether we can actually settle a city on Mars. It talks about the laws, the ethics, the day-to-day challenges it would take to actually colonize a planet. And if you know me, you know I love to geek out about science. This feels like such a fun, like, palate cleanser from the rest of the books because it is one of the few nonfiction books that we have on our list, and it just sounds so fun. But then we have a little bit of historical thriller. This is The Wager. This book sounds so cool. It's about this British ship that washes up on the coast of Brazil, and the survivors talk about the mutiny and absolute horror that they had to deal with to get to where they were. Then suddenly, months later, another ship washes up and tells a completely different story. So it gives a historical Lord of the Flies kind of vibe, and it sounds really, really good. And it's nonfiction, so that makes it even better. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't necessarily gravitate towards historical fiction, but I'm thinking because this is historical nonfiction, this might be funner for me to read. I might enjoy it a lot more. And the synopsis sounds really cool. Plus, I loved Lord of the Flies. That's one of my favorite classics. It gave me really eerie, uncanny vibes, and it's not necessarily a scary book, but it's psychologically thrilling. And if this is anything like that, I think I'm really gonna enjoy it. So I wanna give this a shot. Now, I don't actually have a physical copy of our next book, but it is a memoir memoir called In the Dream House, and it's written by Carmen Maria Machado. It's supposed to be an emotional investigation of Carmen's experience in an abusive queer relationship. She uses experimental prose and genre bending to explore trauma, memory, and recovery. This is a memoir I haven't heard too many people talking about, but every single time I hear someone talking about it, they talk about how good it is. And I just feel like, first of all, everyone needs to be reading nonfiction and memoirs just because these are real people's lives. These are their real experiences, and I feel like you can always learn something from real people. But secondly, this is a great exploration and empathy and understanding how relationships and dynamics work and how someone can get to the point where they're in an abusive relationship. Then we have They're Going to Love You. This is about a young woman who's trying to become a famous ballerina like her mom, but it's also talking about her journey with this cutthroat profession. It's extremely competitive and sometimes very toxic. And so we get to see the weight that that puts on her, and if this is actually a dream that she really wants, or if she's only doing it to placate her mother. It sounds like it's just a great discussion on ambition in general, because I feel like in any field someone can relate to this. It sounds very tender, very heartfelt, and something that everyone can relate to. And the last person who told me to read this said that it was the best book they ever read, so that was enough for me. Last but not least, we have an anthology, and it is called Never Whistle at Night. This is based on indigenous myths that if you whistle at night, you can sometimes summon curses or monsters that follow you throughout the rest of your life. I'm usually very against anthologies though, because I don't know, every time I've read one, I either really like one or two of the stories and then don't like the rest, or there were some that were just strange to me and they threw off the entire vibe of the book, so it's very hard to rate, but this one sounds very interesting. It's supposed to be chilling, eerie, and uncanny, and I just feel like it's the perfect wild card for our TBR pile. It's so different from the other books, and I think it's going to be really good. Also, look at this cover. How cool is this? It's cultural, it's fresh, and I think I'm really going to enjoy it. I really hope I do, honestly. I genuinely never like an anthology, but this one has been pulling my attention since I got it. Now, these are the 10 books that I have to read by the end of the year, or I owe you money. Now, I do want to get started, so we're going to pick my first book. Let's see. I'm honestly hoping it's one of the sci-fi books or The Will of the Many, because I want to get the big book out of the way. Okay, let's see. I'm not going to look at it. I think it's going to be The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay, you look at it first. Am I right?
Nope.
I've got a 1 out of 10 chance. Okay, let's see. The Sea of Tranquility. Okay, that's a short book. It's sci-fi. I think I'm really going to enjoy it. Okay, perfect. That means our first book has to be The Sea of Tranquility. I can't read any other book in any other order. I have to read this one or I cannot touch this jar yet, and I can't move on to the next book. So I guess I'm going to see you in a reading vlog soon where we read that book, or I'm just going to read it on my own and then we can read other books together. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave your comment down below so that January 1st, if I lose, which we know I won't, I can give you your money. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I really hope I can do this. Guys, I'm poor. Please like and subscribe.